All right, it's time to spend another 5 minutes with a special guest, and this one I'm really excited for today. Scott Leslie joins us, a good friend of mine. Scott, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing okay, hanging in there as best we can. We have a very special topic, and I know you got to choose it, so let everybody out there know what we're going to talk about today.
Well, I was doing a little reminiscing about some Pittsburgh sports going back into the 70s and some in the 90s.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun, and I know we got a lot of people out here from California who may not be fans of Pittsburgh, but the stories I think we're going to find out are going to be a lot of good times to talk about. All right, 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. Let's start off by talking about this in our pre-talk. You told me you went to the Immaculate Reception game. What was that experience like? Let everybody at home know how that was.
Well, it was pretty exciting. At the time, when it would happen, it was kind of a desperation play from what I remember. I was sitting in Three River Stadium at the top deck around the 40-yard line, and the game, Bradshaw went back. He looked like he was going to be tackled. He threw the ball down the field. It looked like it hit Jack Tatum and Frenchie Fuqua at the same time. And the ball bounced back, and Franco Harris ended up with the ball and ran into the end zone. He actually didn't go untouched. There was a chance that he could have been blocked out or tackled, but he ended up in the end zone. The referees, I saw their arms go up in the air, and then there was a big timeout, and Madden, the head coach for the Raiders, was yelling and screaming and rolling his arms around. And there was probably about a 30 to 45-minute delay before it was actually ruled a touchdown.
Wow.
In those days, if the ball had hit, and in those days they didn't have video replay, I found out after that they did look at video, but there was no video replay in those days, and they ruled it a touchdown. But it took some time, and everybody went home very excited, and the Steelers won, and that Steelers up to that point were perennial losers, and this actually turned it around.
Wow. All right. So from your vantage point, did you think the play was legal?
I saw the ball. I couldn't see if it hit Frenchie Fuqua first or Jack Tatum first, but the way the ball bounced, Tatum was coming into the ball, so it had to have hit off of him and then bounced backwards, and that's where Franco was. So it looked to me like it was a good play.
And the ball never hit the ground.
The ball never hit the ground. The ball never hit the ground. I've even ran into Franco after that, and he said that the ball never hit the ground.
Hey, that's good enough for me. I'll take it. You were there. I don't know anybody who was there, so I'm fine with it. Another story you were telling us about are the days when you would play pickup hockey, and you got to play with some pros, including somebody who didn't skate all that often.
Well, flash forward a little bit to the 90s. The Pens were in the Stanley Cups 91, 92. They won, so they were, Pens hockey was really big then. And this was the 94, 95 lockout season. I got to practice, being an ex-goalie, I got to practice with the Pens a little bit. And from there, I played on some adult leagues. And we had Ron Francis and we had Jack Lambert play on my adult league team.
Wow.
So that was, yeah.
He ain't little.
I'm sorry?
he ain't little.
No. Well, actually, you'd be surprised. When you stand next to Jack Lambert, he was only about 6'1". I'm 6'3", at the time, probably 6'4". But he was a lot smaller than I was. I was really surprised when you're standing next to him. He's a lot smaller, but he was strong. I tell you what, he was stronger than a bulldog.
And he could skate okay?
He skated okay. He wasn't the best skater on the ice, but he wasn't the worst. So he played center. So the opposing goalies, when they would see him coming down the ice, handling the puck, they would look up and see that toothless smile of his, and that would scare the living daylights out of him.
All right, we're down to our last 40 seconds here. I just wanted to touch on one last point. We covered the other two teams. Got to talk about the Pirates. You had some ties to them too when you were younger. Is that right?
Well, when I went to college, I got a baseball scholarship, and my coach at Denison University was a scout for the Pirates. And in the early 80s, they were looking for lefty pitchers. And I had a really good slider, good fastball, and an excellent curveball. Slider was probably my best pitch. Curveball was probably, I threw the ball probably 92, 93. But I actually got drafted by the Pirates back then. But when I graduated college, they weren't really interested after that. They signed me after my sophomore years, and they wanted me to go right then and there, which I stayed in school.
Look at that. Right at the 5-minute mark, we got to cover all 3 teams in Pittsburgh and your ties to them. Scott, this has been a whole lot of fun. Thanks for this. We're going to have to do another one because these stories were just too good.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks.